Hello, good morning, happy Tuesday. How you all doing today? We have cat today. Oh, that's not the right position. Let me see if I can fix that. A cat looking down on all of us. I don't have a I don't have the tripod is a really small one, and so unfortunately it can't reach up to the window that he's sitting at. But we can look up at him. I guess that works, right? So anyways, a couple things today. So first off, I figured we can go through the new version of Helix because it just dropped 2 days ago. And this morning when I checked, it was in Homebrew. Yesterday it was not, so we couldn't really go through it then. And there's as far as I can tell, there's a few interesting changes in it. And then second, we can go over the what is it called? We can go over Anathema and using that as a front end for authentication. And that's going to be more interesting because I would imagine that using Anathema on my system, especially for like managing and FusionAuth, that would be I would have access to the actual secret there. So that's also going to be very interesting because we're going to be able to get away with not using any kind of implicit auth setup for that. So that being said, we should jump right in. So the new version of Helix here, we got 24.7. I believe the previous version was 24.03. And that was like 4 months ago or so. So it's a decent pace, like not updating every single month, but several times a year, which is nice. And let's see what we got. So first off, apparently 160 contributors this patch. So that's pretty awesome. Thank you for everybody who has contributed to Helix. I certainly like it a lot. I like all these changes too. Okay, so they have some breaking changes here. And let's go through these. Add a text object for entries, elements of list like things. So add a text object for entries, elements of list like things. What does that mean? Oh. Introduces a new tree setter text object query for elements or entries of list like data structures like objects. This might be array elements, tuple entries. Okay. The inside subtype can mean the individual parts of the key value pairs, or left undefined for things like Rust arrays where they are not. It's also implemented for movements. Okay, that's nice. I've implemented the queries for a number of core languages. Okay, so basically better handling of lists and list-like things. Okay. That will probably be something that'll just sort of like come up as we're working on it. Added a picker showing files changed in VCS. That actually is nice. Can we look at that right now? So, well, everything will be changed here. So if I let's git commit this first. And then we'll have the untracked files, and I wonder if that will be good. All right. Well, Zilby's done with us. He's not interested in Helix. So let's see. For that, we are setting up yew. Now, if we open up yew, what can we get for? Is there a picker in here? There's open last picker. Okay, we have like simple picker. It was a VCS picker. What was it? It's a question mark VCS. Like work. Okay, so changed. I think this is it. Changed file picker. Space G. So space G. So those are the files that have been changed. So this is the new one that is brand new. That's nice. I use a temporary file for writes. That could be really good for handling any crashes or anything else or whatnot. I know that Vim uses that, although a lot of people I know also turn that off. So we'll see how we feel about it. Allow cycling through LSP signature help signatures with, is this Alt N and Alt P? So if I have something showing here, I need something a little bit long, a little bit bigger. What can we find that would like actually give us a lot? Maybe in the library. Maybe spawn local. That looks like a multiple lines. Okay, so Alt N. No, that didn't do anything. Oh, that gave me multiple cursors. That's not what I wanted. What's the capital A? Because I would love to do that. Okay. Implement handle event cycle through the function signatures by pressing Alt PN. The function signature will be changed. Cycle through the function signatures. Oh, like the different possible ones that you could do. Oh, to go through. Okay, I get it. So if I'm writing a function and there's lots of different things that it could be, which I'm not sure we'd see something like that here. So like if I did another spawn local. Yeah, there's only one. There's only one there. Okay, we'll have to keep that in mind and play around with it later. Use tree sitter when finding matching brackets and closest pairs. Okay, so hopefully that improves how fast things work. Although things are pretty fast right now, so but that's good. Autosave all buffers after a delay. Now, does that mean that we have autosave on? Like, that's not auto-saving. So I wonder if that's a configuration now thing. And I wonder if it's going to be a U. I don't see like an autosave there. I'm not usually one for auto-saving everything, especially when we have things run on save. I don't necessarily, I want to control that a little bit more. Although it is funny then when we forget to save and then our changes aren't visible. So I totally understand why we might want to have autosave. Commands. Select all siblings. So Alt A and Alt capital I. Okay, so Alt A selects all siblings. So siblings. I don't know if it's going to do this here. Yeah, it's not really figuring that out. Maybe a use statement? Alt A. Not really doing anything there. Alt I. Oh. There's something on the right that happens. Yeah, but this file may not be best for figuring that one out. So we'll have to play around with that a little bit later. I don't necessarily have a better program to play with though. Okay, but that's Alt A and Alt I, so we'll have to play around with that. Read, insert the contents of the given file at each selection. Now, each selection, okay, so this might be interesting because we could potentially put snippets into a file and then read them in and then that will paste it out. So if I have like a directory of files with little code snippets in it, we could certainly use something like that. That could be really interesting. Usability improvements. Support scrolling pop-up contents using the mouse. That's a huge one. That okay. So I think we saw one of these had something like that we can. Not you. Is this scrollable? No, that's not big enough. I can't scroll this here. And also, I'm not completely sure that that is something that. Yeah, I feel like it's actually bigger now, and we're seeing more context in the pop-up, which is nice. But also, I'm not able to. Oh, here's a scrollable one. Hey, and now we can actually scroll and read through this, which is nice. And if I select, okay, so it still selects outside of it, but hey, scrolling through it and looking inside of these is a huge thing. That's a big win. Sort the jump list picker so that the most recent items come up first. That was something that was bothering me and why I stopped using the jump list picker. So if I do space J, that comes to the jump list picker, and I'm able to, what is it? I'm able to save something to the jump list, which I forget what it was. Let me try save current selection to jump list. So that was Control S. So I have to lock first to do that. So let's say I want to always go back, I don't know, to this run function here. So I go here and I just Control S to save it. Go to the top of the file and jump list. And there is pub function run. We can go back there. And pub function run is still at the top now. Whereas sometimes I think it would like fall further behind. So theoretically, it should be up there. Now, it would be nice also to be able to delete from the jump list, or at least like control what gets in there. Improve go-to files automatic path detection strategy. Okay, I don't know if we ever. I wonder if that's using with the space F for the file picker, like something behind the scenes. Well, that is usability improvement. So I don't know. Maybe go to file GF. I don't actually think I've ever used GF. GF. Go to files URLs in selections. Oh, okay. So if we come to our login component page and I go to file, that attempts to open up a file named HTTP. I get it now. Okay, so buffer close. But if I go to here, that opens up my browser and tries to take me there, which is nice. Okay, that's pretty cool. Respect language server definition, order in code action menu. Respect language server definition in code. Oh, so like when I do code actions, it wants the language server definition stuff first. Okay. I don't know if I've had that much of a problem because I generally haven't added too many different language servers to everything. Allow using account with go to next buffer and go to previous buffer. Oh, so I can go to like multiple next. I don't think I've ever used that really. Improve the positioning of pop-ups. We did see that and the sizes of them. Reset all changes overlapped by selections in reset diff change. Reset all changes overlapped by selections in reset diff change. Oh, so we can now go back to what we had before get. Okay, so we can basically do a get reset in the editor now, which is nice. Await pending writes and suspend command. So okay, if we do Control Z, it actually writes them, or is it waits to write them? Remove special handling of line ending characters and replace. Remove the special handling, or like I hope that it still like it works the way it's supposed to. Maybe it wasn't working the way it was supposed to. Use the selected register as a history register for rename symbol. Okay, we have used rename symbol before and it's worked perfectly fine. So I guess it's probably just better now. Use the configured insert mode cursor for prompt entry. Use the configured insert mode cursor for prompt entry. Was it not that before? Make prompt cursor set for insert mode. I want to say that I have that set in. Maybe I haven't touched that in config, so that might not affect me. Add tilted quotes to the matching brackets list. Oh, tilted quotes. That's the weird quotes, right? Quotes that we don't use in our code. Prevent improper files like dev view random from being used as file arguments. That's a good thing. Allow multiple language servers to provide LSP workspace commands. Ooh, that's actually really nice. That's better, like even more support for adding multiple LSPs, which is good. Trim output of commands executed through pipe. Okay, I don't think we've ever really done much pipe stuff before. And then a bunch of bug fixes. So let's see. Anything that looks interesting. I'll probably silently go through this and we'll see if there's anything that we've hit. Fix mouse right-click selection behavior. I don't know if we've ever hit that before. Is there supposed to be a right-click behavior? Oh, if we right-click, it just goes to it. But if I left-click, it goes to it with a selection. Oh, that's good to know. Fix restarting language servers. Does that mean I can now... What is that? What exactly does that mean? This was a minor regression. The main problem was a mix-up where the new client was removed from the registry instead of the old one. Wait. So will this automatically restart the LSP if things fail or things change potentially? Because like that was supposed to happen previously, where like if I did a cargo install, the LSP would restart. So if I were to, let's say, cargo, we're in the front end, right? Let's go to our front end. Let's cargo. What's something we can add? Oh, let's just add rand for some reason. If I add you, it didn't look like it restarted the LSP. So I think that's more for like if it crashes, the LSP restarts automatically, which that would also be nice. reset the inlay hits when stopping and restarting the language server, which would be nice. I think we have had weird things where you get the wrong inlay hits sometimes. So that would be good to have fixed. Okay, and then there's some themes here. So it looks like they've updated a bunch of themes. I'm not seeing that they added any new themes. Oh no, add Rosetta. Blah, hello. How are you doing today? You got an audio only ad. That's new. That is new. I didn't realize that there was an audio only ad. What does that mean? Did you like still see the stream but you just couldn't hear me because there is an audio? Yeah, okay. Video kept going. Well, that is interesting. Okay, so supporting more languages, lots of little things for coding. Add Rust script and cargo as shebangs for Rust. Okay, that's I don't. Yeah, I've never really used Rust script before. They added the try keyword to Rust. We've not used try either. But okay, that should be pretty good. We'll need to talk to Toggle a bit about getting AML files recognized in Helix, or at least like something in there, for, like so we can have maybe a something to give it like color coding. All right, and I think that's it. Oh, improved ZSH completion. So if we do, oh no, this is just in packaging. So if we're running on Helix commands, which I mean, you kind of know what to put in here. Yeah, so I guess I don't have the auto completions set up for this. Okay, but cool. So that is the new version of Helix that we have. Not too much interesting with it, but also at the same time, it's a new version of Helix. They did not get the new sort of like mod system set up for it yet. They're still working on that. A lot of people are really interested in it. And I think there's some other things. There's sort of like there's a tree view that I think they're working on. That didn't make it in either. But eventually we'll get that in there. Okay, so this all being said, now if I want to, what I learned yesterday was that this is running on my servers on port 8080, I want to say. And so I need to change port 8080 for Hasura here. So I think that's in our compose file. Yeah, so for Hasura, this is port 8080. So let's change this to not that. So change this to port like 8081. Do I have another port 8081 here? I do. So you're on port, wait, maybe? Yeah, EyeAP is on 8081. How about no 8082s? So we'll put you on 8082. Okay, so if that, we probably need to do a down and then back up again. But Docker Compose Watch might take care of that. We should, maybe, let's try it. So if I do Docker Compose Watch, let's see what it says. It is rebuilding things. So maybe this will actually run it on a new on the new port. Yeah, and it recreated the Hasura. Okay, that's good. Okay, and everything is up and running. So let's see if Hasura now is running on port 8082. So first off, yeah, 8080 doesn't have anything on there. That's good. We have 8081, which is connection was reset. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. But 8082. Okay, so we have Hasura on here. We also have 9011 on here. And all right, there we go. That looks, everything should be fine. Now, today, we're going to be continuing with this project, but we're going to be running on, we're going to be adding in a new front end for this, or at least starting to add in new front ends. We're going to sort of like do them in parallel, where we have you on one of the days, and we're going to do a back end sort of like enabled framework, the CLI framework, Anathema. So that way we have one that's a traditional SPA, and then one that is not a SPA. It's basically just, it's back end rendered because it's on my system. So what does that mean for us? Well, first off, it means that things are a little bit simpler, right? I'm also thinking about not doing this anymore. And then because that will allow me to have a nice conversation at the end of this of like the differences between what we're doing with Anathema and what we're doing with the SPA. So we can actually use the implicit type for the SPA for the front end, where we have just the token, the access token that we're getting directly, and then here we just log in and get the user information. Okay. So we get all those things. Oh, interesting new framework to you. Blah. Okay, yeah. So the as a quick sort of introduction to Anathema, first off, this is running in Anathema. So this we've created the stream manager with the front end for that is a CLI application. It's Anathema. It is written by Togglebit, who is a fellow streamer here on Twitch, and it basically allows me to do some really cool things here. Like for example, I have it's component based, so I can click inside the box here to acknowledge the hello queue and make the names go away. And then these are all message based. So as things are happening in our stream manager, it's sending messages back and forth to the front end here, the CLI, which then updates what's happening. So when ads are running, if you're not getting the ads, you actually see the ads are running message here with the countdown for it. And that's all done based upon like an actual message where there's every second I'm sending another event out with a new seconds left. Very neat that you can make components outside of a browser. I know Leptos frameworks try to demo something like that. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that Leptos was thinking about that. But yeah, it is a very component-based thing. So let's go ahead and get ourselves set up with this. So obviously, we have over here, let's go drop out of view, and We don't want the front end anymore. So I'm going to call this cargo new. Let's call this like CLI front end. Maybe I'll just do CLI. CLI. Yeah, CLI will be fine. Fine. Okay, so if we cargo into that, it's a binary project, which is perfectly fine for us. If we go into CLI, we have all of you. We want to in cargo toml here. We're going to have to add in a connection for Anathema. Now, it's not been deployed to crates. So there is one there by ToggleBit, but it's not the right Anathema. So if we want to get the correct Anathema, we have to go to getting started here. And this line here. So straight to ToggleBit GitHub, and we're going to go to the dev branch because well, it's still changing quite a bit, but I've been giving a lot of feedback to ToggleBit. He's been implementing a lot of changes based upon what we've been doing, which is pretty nice. Is Anathema specifically not for HTML or just lets you choose whatever markup language? Anathema is specifically for CLI. So just your command line interface. That's it. It's never going to support running in a browser. So it's therefore never going to support true HTML. So you have to use his markup language, his templating language, as it were, which he does have one. So we'll go over that. All right, so we have you. Let's also I want to take templates. Let's touch so index.aml is the markup language. So Anathema markup language. And we're probably gonna we know we're gonna need like pages and other things, but let's not worry about that right this second. So we got the good there. For our for that AML. The very basic thing that we could do here is just say text and hello world. All right, that's the most basic. We're just going to have a text element that just says hello world in the top left of the screen. Okay, that's great. Let's see, what else do we need? We need probably a library. And my problem is like I do prefer not to just write everything into main. So we're going to touch lib.rs and probably put this will be where like the main app goes. So I'm okay with that. So in the CLI, we have our library here. We're gonna have a pub. Let's use. Ooh, I did not have to update this. I just found it. So that actually worked. That's nice. Use Anathema prelude. We're going to pub function run. You know what? I also want to cargo add for my CLI. We're going to add in a error just to make error handling a little bit better. You can, okay, so it didn't update for that. So I do still have to restart the LMS here. All right, so what do we need to do? Well, the first thing we need to do is we need to grab that index template that we have. So let's see, we want our index template is going to be equal to a read to string from the FS1. And our path is going to be templates index.aml. Let's see, loading index template. Okay, so we have that. I think the next thing is create the document, but this is where I kind of forget exactly what the order is. So let's go ahead and remind ourselves how to do this. Yeah, so the next one is creating a new document, and then we hand it that index template. So, and then for the most part, I've never really needed the document to be mutable, but they have, this is mutable here just in case we need to. So, okay, so we get the document, and then we're going to create the TUI backend builder. So we create the backend. Now with this one, we can now enable all this other fun stuff. So enable the alt screen, enable the mouse, enable raw mode, and go ahead and hide the cursor. And then I think we need to finish. I'll give it a context. This is creating backend and question mark U. Okay, so that gives us our backend. And then we create a runtime. Okay, so we need to create a runtime builder first. And that's not something that they really talk about here, but you need the runtime builder to do things. And otherwise, it's not quite as fun. So let mute runtime builder. And that's going to be off of runtime. Now, new is no longer something we're supposed to do, so it's now builder. We hand it the document. And also, now, is this one of those things where it's like Alt P? No, that's definitely not it. Okay, so document. And then what was the other one? Backend. Then we have you. And then we can create the runtime by finishing that. And then finally, we runtime run this. Oh, and you need to be mutable. And right now you don't need to be mutable, but we potentially will mute that later, depending upon what we want to do, which I believe off the runtime builder is where we add our components, and we do that. Landmo, hello. How are you doing today? You redeemed Helix theme, changed Helix theme, base 16. But that did not do anything. Do we not have a base 16 Helix theme? Oh, it doesn't have the same exact language. So there's like a base 16 default, base 16 default dark, default light, terminal, transparent. So it has to be one of those. Here, let me refund you. Do you want to try it again? With the correct wording, and it should automatically apply. Which is fun. Oh, interesting. Base 16 is in the repo? Oh no, the reward's on cooldown. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Here, I'll just It's out of stock for you too. Oh, I have it on. It's a 15-minute cooldown, isn't it? I can fix that. Base 16 default dark. Okay. Hold on. Where do I do this? Community. No, not community. Not setting. Viewer rewards. Okay, if I do change Helix theme, if I just turn that off and disable it and re-enable it, is it now usable? Oh, you made the mistake of looking at that. Oh, it's still on cooldown. Oh, okay. Hold on. Your rewards. Manage pop-ups. I have to edit it. I have to turn off the cooldown, save that. And I think I can turn on the cooldown again. Oh, it's literally just a 5-minute cooldown. Oh, well, that wasn't too bad. Okay, so the cooldown should be good now. Okay, in the meantime, we have this set up and running. So if I head to main and CLI, we want to use this. It's 10,000 points. 10,000 points is the font change. The theme is 1,000 points. I did 10,000 points for font change because that is could potentially be significantly more impactful for the readability of the stream. Comic Sans would probably be one of the ones that, like, yeah, fonts can be ignoring, which is the reason why I made it 10,000 points. Also, you there's I think a 30-minute delay on that. But like after 5 minutes or 15 minutes or something like that, it reverts. So there's an auto revert on that one. There's not so in the theme. You would put on monocraft if you had the points. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I should probably. I don't know if I have monocraft. If we don't have it, then I would just refund anyways. All right, so I want to run this. So run CLI run, and then we're just going to unwrap you. Okay, so we assume that this should work now. So if I do cargo run, error loading. Oh, yeah, it's assuming that the templates directory is where I start running this. So that's kind of important. Still on cooldown. Okay, fine. Let me just completely remove the cooldown and not bring it back up again. That's kind of strange, though. I wouldn't think that would do. Okay, so change Helix theme.
Changing Helix theme to base 16 default dark.
All right, that worked. Never mind. Okay, and so hold on, we don't have Helix theme up right now. Let's bring this back. I don't see that huge of a difference. It looks like a little bit dimmer, maybe, but nice. And this is set up for us, which is also nice. Okay, so anyways, we want to run this. Cargo run. And we have hello world up in the top left. So that was our first, like, we don't really have any component set up. That's basically the index component, which is the root. That's where everything loads. So obviously not that interesting for us yet. Now I want a login, which means we want pages. We could avoid pages and just do everything on one screen, but I would love to figure out how to do pages in Anathema. Huh. Let me double check. So if I do theme, what was that? That was base 16 default dark. No, that's exactly what we have. Yeah, so that's what it looks like on my screen. Let's take a look at what you thought it was supposed to be. What did where is my chat? Over here. Huh. Oh, how can I wait? I want to break you out and nope, not that. Like this. Yeah, so I wonder if it's a weird thing with my like because I have like dark mode on, or I'm using maybe the Alacrity shell. I don't know. Like the theme kind of matches, but like there's some gray here that we don't see over here. Yeah, it's a little bit weird and different. Yeah, just way less symbols. Okay, it's fine. You just also expect the CLI run to also change. Okay, that makes sense. But I'm glad it worked. Okay, so obviously there's not much in this file either, so there's not much to look at. Maybe as we add things, that will change. So yeah, this is different. This is more interesting. Okay. What are we doing? I want to build a navigation, right? We want to have, and if we take a look at what we have over here, this is what our EyeAP looks like in Yew. We have just like the home component, we have like a nav essentially. So I need a nav component. Bot, Yew. Let me double check that I'm clicking the right one. Get banned. Goodbye. Wacky that keywords and modules have the same color. That is a little bit weird, isn't it? As long as they're not like really close together, though, I can see that working. All right, so I want some kind of like navigation so I can then choose which things to load and run. And in Anathema, there is no router, as it were. Also, we don't have to say hi to Punky. Okay, so I want to have some kind of router. So we need I need a routes component, or like maybe a nav component. And when we click on things, we go to specific pages and we have to update probably like a global state type thing. Or no, we send a message to maybe like some component to load which one. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So I guess we'll start with the nav component. So that means in templates, I probably want there's not really going to be a page component, so it's just components. Let's take components. We're going to touch nav.aml. I guess we'll just do a text. We'll start with just nav to sort of see that it's running. Let's just install React on Anathema. Yeah, exactly. I wonder how ToggleBit will react if I'm like, okay, so I created a router and I did all this other stuff. Hey, when can we run this in the browser? And see how fast he just goes insane. Okay, so we do that, and then I want to load the component up. And so to register the component, we're going to do this in the library. And so we do this in multiple parts. So here we do we need the, let's see, index component. This is going to be the nav component, nav template. This is templates, components, nav, AML. Okay, so we have that. We have our document, we have our backend. Where do we register components? I forget about that. Components. Oh, right. I have to create an actual component for this. So that's going to be going to source. Let us take a component and nav.rs. Okay. All right, so components, we have mod, insert yew, and in nav components, insert yew, and pub use, no, just use. Anathema, prelude, everything. We want a pub struct. Okay, so the actual component here is just the nav component. I want to import component. There, import you, missing members. Okay, so state. Do we want any kind of state for this? We probably do want a state eventually, but for right now, let's just go ahead and ignore this. So we'll just say message and state are both nothing. Unused import. Okay, so this is going to be fine. This is going to be fine. Everything's okay. We want to head back to library, and we want to now bring this in. Okay. So there's our component like that. We do this off of the runtime. And notice that it's runtime new. And then we do this. It's the runtime builder that we actually do this on. So we have their builder here. We want to do a runtime. And then actually want to get most likely the component ID from this. So this is going to be the nav component equal to runtime builder register component. Okay, so we have 4 things here. We have our identifier, so we'll just call this nav. The template, the nav template. The component itself, which is nav. And then finally, the state, the initial state, which is nothing at all. Now, we are not going to use this yet, but we probably will for message passing. So I'll just go ahead and ignore it for right now. And we'll just live with that. And then what do we want to do? We want to, we want to use the nav. We want to set up the nav inside of index. So back to our index template. And so we have our text hello world. Let's actually maybe like change this to be a title, which we do not have let's see, how do I want to do this? If I want a type, we have the title on the left, so this is going to be basically the EyeAP CLI, and then I want the nav to show up, which means that if I want multiple things here, we have to have a VStack. So then we want our nav. So we'll just have a @nav. And then I think that's everything we need right here. So let's jump back down. We'll do a new cargo run. Oh, runtime builder now needs to be mutable. That's another thing. Okay, runtime builder now needs to be mutable. No more errors. There we go. Okay, so we have our EyeAP CLI and then nav. So component based. We actually have a component up and running now. Now I'd like to center this in the middle of our application, as it were. And there is a way to do this. We're going to, for this text, use the position element where we look at position. No, is it position? It's alignment. Alignment is what I want. And alignment center is in the middle. Also, notice the spelling. He does allow center, which is nice. Okay, so we have top left, top right. Okay, so I probably want alignment. Can I do top center? I might. Oh, actually, center might just work for me also. So text alignment center. So alignment center. And then we're going to have text like that. It disappeared. What did I do wrong? It's, oh, do I need to have like a width to it or size? The position node needs to be renamed. Oh, it's, you're right. That needs to be alignment. Hold on. Alignment. Oh, it's a line. It's a line. Well, okay, so I get my EyeAP CLI, which actually is like center, but I want this to be top. I wonder if I just do top, that's center top. Oh yeah, top is center top. Okay. There we go. That works. So now we have this in the top center. You know, it's just top. It's just pure top. So top assumes center top. Because we do have a top left, which obviously would be top and then to the left. So that does make sense. Okay. So, however, one thing we've noticed is that we've lost our nav. We've lost our nav because that is no longer in the top. I wonder if I need to give like a spacing for this, like a sizing. And then I think default, background bold, italic, we have all those. What do I have on? like a div type thing where I can give it like the height. Like there is this idea of a border. Alignment won't let me do. I need like a border width and height. There's also viewport, which has been named to something else. It's been named to overflow, I think. But I think I need to use border. Okay, so border. And if I don't want an actual border on it, expand is not what I want. I wonder if I do need a border just to give it the size. Container? I don't see a container. Oh, wait, there's a container. Oh, yeah, container element. Accepts as most one child. Okay, so I can do width 1. Okay, and probably width and height. Okay, perfect. So I can do width and height. I can do height of 1 and then auto width. So we'll do container a height of 1. You go right, you go right. We do that. There we go. And now we have our nav here. Perfect. So yeah, container was correct. It would be, you know what, actually, it would be nice if these were in alphabetical order. I don't know why, just like, I wasn't looking for like a containers, like where container would be up here, right? Like, I don't know. I feel it would be nice if they're in alphabetical order, but I don't know. Maybe Togglebit has a different idea for the docs. But okay, so we have a borderless container that has the title of the application like this. There seems to be some implicit hierarchy of titles or roles. Yeah, I could see that too. All right, nav. Now we have to decide how nav works. I'm thinking buttons maybe, like they need to be clickable. So something with a border around them, but that's pretty easy to do, right? Also, I want this to auto update probably. So let's go ahead and cargo watch this. Here. So now we just come back to this and it should always be the latest version of whatever we're looking at. Perfect. And you know what? It might be nice. No, I don't want to put it behind me. I could put it down below this, but that might get annoying too. We'll just switch over to this every once in a while. Okay, so let's head over to our nav and try to figure out what we want to put in here. So obviously it wouldn't just be text for navigation. I want to do something like this, right? Where we have probably a list of places to go to. We would have home and login. So to manually do this, we would have maybe like a text of, we could do something like this, right? Home. Login. We would need this to be in a VStack to go down. So let's see. If I just do that, okay, that works. We probably want a border around these. So border, I don't think I need anything special with these. So and now we have a home and login like that. I don't know. I don't know if I actually like the border based on that. Let's see. Ladmo, you really recommend Bacon instead of Cargo Watch. It's very configurable and has the amazing feature of sorting the compile errors by severity. Oh, nice. Yeah, I've never tried Bacon. Let me add that into my to-do. So check out Bacon instead of Cargo Watch. Cool. Yeah. Thanks for that. Um, maybe for this application, it might make more sense then for us to use horizontal. So like an H stack. Then I don't need a border on each of these. Instead, what I need is we have home, we have login, and then between each ones, we'd have like text, something like that. Like good old fashioned that style. Okay. And now in this case, we could center you, right? So I wouldn't center you here. We'd go back to index and let's do a line top, but we need the container height one. Bring you in like that. And now we have you. Let's also maybe container height 2 for the top AL for this title. So now it like just comes down a little bit more. Okay, it's coming together. Now, I want to be able to click on these, right? Like this is supposed to be a my navigation. So if I hover over it, I would love, well, first of all, I would also love to know where we are right now. And maybe I would also love to have this automated. So now I need a list of potential locations for us to be in, which might be, that might be an enum of some kind. I know, breadcrumbs. Although I don't know if I'm actually going to do breadcrumbs like fully in this case. Let's see. So where do I want to put something like this? I'm thinking an enum for where our current route is. And so in CLI, I kind of want to create another. Okay, let's create another panel down here. Let's see. In CLI, I want to maybe just create a route. Oh, I could create a router component. So without a router, how does navigation actually work? My theory about what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a container with an if statement that just manually loads whichever one we're supposed to load. So we're just going to have all the things down below. It's going to be, have any of you, do any of you, are any of you old enough to like have programmed in jQuery before we started using front end frameworks like, you know, Angular or React? Because back then, we sort of like all created our own front end frameworks using jQuery. And one of the ways that we did it was saying like, okay, well, if we would do this thing, just like load this entire thing goes in there. And a manager wrote a router component in that style. So that's kind of what we're going to be forced to do because there's no URL here. Like it's not, there's no browser for us to go with. Like there's no URL, there's no title bar, there's nothing else. So we can't use or utilize that at all. So we have to create this on our state. Now, maybe someday there'll be an official router that we can pull in and use for this. But until then, we kind of need to experiment to figure out what a good way of doing that is. And so we're going to learn this all together. So if I just touch, I don't know exactly where to put this. So we're going to put it here. So we're going to do, I'll just call it routes.rs. Let's do a pub enum routes, or maybe we'll do pub enum route for which current route we're in. And so we're going to have the choice of home route, and we're going to have the choice of which route, login route. I think those are our choices, right? and I want to get. I also want to be able to like go through all the different routes of like all the possible routes for here. So let's do an impl on a route, because I don't want to pull in. I don't ever remember what a good like macro is to like make all these text. So we're just going to implement this ourselves. If you made the enum value a string, you could display that instead of the integer. Wait, what? How do I do that? Because like I don't want to like take up extra space as a string, right? Oh, if it's double duty, I might. That's true. You can't make enum discriminate anything other than eye size. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna play around with that. So we're gonna do bare minimum work to get it working, and then we'll see like how much we have to refactor once we figure this out. Now, if I want to display these potential routes out, let's do a pub function. It won't be like toString. I'll probably do something like pub function. What are we gonna call this? I want like the stringified routes in an array. And I can do a hard array on this, and we'll just update that one. Okay, so let's do let's go names. So pub function get names. We'll just call it names. And I don't know if I need to know or currently care about like the current one. And so do I want this to be, I don't know if I want this to be off of route. Maybe we do or don't. So if I do, I want to return. I want to return just a string probably. Oh, this could be a static actually. Static stir. And actually it's going to be an array of static stir. And it's going to be 2 of them. And we'll have to update that as we go along. So we will, I guess here, just return home and login. Okay, and so then if we go back to our nav component, we'll need this for state. So now we need state here. And then you're going to be upset until I derive some things. So we need to derive state from Anathema. Let's also derive debug. And I don't know if I want to do default at all. Then we're going to want our routes. Hungry Bear Dev, hello. How are you doing today? Thank God you're live. I hope you're good. Have you ever tried transferring files to another branch using GitHub Actions? I was getting files vanishing, so I moved it to a temp folder, and now I'm getting is not a Git folder issue. I have never tried to do that. My guess is if you've moved it to a temporary file or folder, it's probably outside of the default folder that you're in GitHub Actions, which means that it's no longer a Git folder, and you need to like move it somewhere else. So you do have access to a couple different things, but yeah, I'm not exactly. Yeah, I don't know a good way of doing that. If you could script that and then run that locally, I'm sure that's that would probably get you there a little bit faster. But then the testing on that, that's gotta suck. That's gotta suck because it's like takes so long to run each time. But yeah, give it a shot. You'll probably need to like just create a shell script outside of Git and then just run all the commands. At least start with that and then see if there's any Git commands to sort of like remove parts of the shell script. But it's an interesting problem. Okay, so we have routes that we want to go to. So this is going to be an array of a static string. And I could make this 2. But this is going to be annoying as we add more routes in. Like already I can see that. So I kind of want to like create a new updated type for this. So what if I have like a pub type and this is going to be the route names, and that's going to be this static string size 2, and then we'll use that in both these places. Okay, so I want you as a route names. Okay, so we're going to keep you there like that. What are you upset about? Oh, right. It's not that. I keep on forgetting. We have to use value with that inside. Import that. The method value ref exists for struct value stir to, but trait bounds are not satisfied. Wait, so am I not allowed to use... Okay, so the method value ref exists for struct value that, but trait bounds were not satisfied. Stir to state, which is required by any state. I don't like that error message. Would you want this to be just a vector of names? So a vec of oh, do you need this to be a string? It might need that to be a string. No. Okay. Value of x string, but as trait bounds were not satisfied, the following traits were not satisfied. Vec of string. Huh, okay. It's not because I added the debug here. What? I know, Rust, right? Yeah. What we're working on, I'm trying to create a CLI application, sort of like test example for as a front end for a centralized authentication system, essentially. So it's basically a we're testing out Fusion Auth as a potential replacement for Auth 0 for something like that. That being said, using Anathema for this, why are you so upset? The method value ref exists for struct value vec string. Okay, so if I try something like just very simple, like a yew.rs, you're happy about that. If we try a string, you're happy about that. Oh, wait. Is it going to be the other way around? Is this going to be a vec a value of string? No. So you have to be a value that reacts to change. And I can put string here, and you're happy. But if I put a vector here, you're not happy. Was I wrong? This was happy, right? Yeah. Now if I do a I don't know, U32 here, it's the vector that it's not happy about. Wait. Oh, right. There's a list. I forgot. There's a list component here. We have to use that. So it's a list component, and then that gets a string. Like that. There we go. Okay. So it has to be very different here. Yeah, we ran into this once before, and I completely forgot that that's how this works. Okay, so we have our routes like that. Now we have our nav state. Now when we pull in and we create this nav state, let's do a impl on nav state. Function new. We're going to create a self on this. And then, okay, to get the routes, the list. So obviously we're going to do that routes equals, we want route. Let's get the names. That gives me that string 2, but we now need this to be a value list of string. So I need to map this. This will be a singular name like that, and we want to, I need to turn this into a list. So list new empty to common. Oh, from iterator. Okay, I can literally create this from an iterator. Perfect. Okay, so then I don't need this. I just need to turn this into a string. So we're just gonna map to string to string. And then I want to, can I into this? And you won't know what that is yet, but we'll turn a self with routes. Okay, yeah, so now you know that it's going to become a value list string. The trait bound anathema value list string is not satisfied from array of that. Okay, so it may not know how to deal with this yet. Oh, because this is a map, it's in maybe the wrong kind of iterator. If I turn you into an iterator, no, that doesn't work. Let's create a list that's from iterator. Okay, first off, are you okay with that? You are. Okay. And then can I into this? I only have one error here. I just, I'm not pulling in that. Let's not pull in route names. Okay. Our state is now going to be nav state new, which should pull that in. We have no errors. Okay, those are never constructed, but that's okay for right now. And then in nav, okay, we need to do a for loop here. And I want to loop through all of these, then give it like home, login, and whatnot. So, okay, HStack. I need to remember how to do a for loop. I think we can do it in the HStack like this. So I think we just do for name in routes. For name in routes, there's no semicolon and no brackets here. Okay, so it's just simple that we now have a name. Kuvi Man, hello. How are you doing today? And how's your stream? What are you working on? Brainoid Games, hello, how are you? Hello, and yeah, how's the stream? What are you working on? Working your programming language with OCaml, nice. How is that going along? Hopefully pretty good. You're very happy with progress. It's going to be the best language everyone will use. I will believe you. I believe it. Okay. So my system, what we're working on right now, it's already in top 10. Well, that's great. Awesome. Nigel Withrow, hello. How are you doing today? Based Helix, yeah, we got the new Helix, and I just updated it, so it's really nice. Velikbot, hello. How are you doing today? You won't start until you do it, until Kuviman does a game jam with it. I mean, I can see that. How's the user manager going? Let's see. For the stream manager, we've got that going up here. That's perfectly fine. User manager, that's going a little bit interesting. I've created I'm doing sort of like a two front ends based on it. I have one that's sort of like a really basic yew.rs application for it, and then the other we're just creating right now, which is an Anathema CLI front end. So something that runs in the terminal only, and that's what you're seeing right now. This is the it's think of it like using web-based programming techniques. So a component-based system, but runs in a terminal. You actually see that running over here. That's what this is. Like when I click on the hello queue, it makes it go away. That's like a state-based component that I have in this stream manager that every time the first time one of you ever says anything, you get added to this queue, but you won't get added a second time because it remembers that you existed, which is really nice. It's actually a really cool system, and I'm really hoping that we can continue playing with it. Now, one thing I'm noticing here is that if I want like a separation on this, we'll see that I now have this one at the end. I kind of want some selector, sort of like we have a CSS, where I can say, okay, if it's the last one, don't do it. Don't do it. But I don't think that I have the ability to do anything like that. And in templates, I think that's where the for loop is. Yeah, loop. So we do for value in this, text value. fixing that, and then that's after everything. So the easiest thing for me to do to make it look not absolutely terrible would be just to put in a text like that. So we just surround everything with bars here. And then that looks really nice. Sounds very nice. It's sad you'll need to rewrite all this using Kuverman's language in a few years. That's very true. Like, very true. But you know what? I'm okay with that because when we rewrite it, we'll learn more about it. And then I'll create a course on Kuverman's language or something like that. We'll figure something out. I'm certain since that this is going to be like the most popular language, that will be my most popular course too. And we'll both get like, you know, a lot out of it. So I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so we're currently shoehorning in a navigation system into this framework that doesn't have any router, so it's fun. So I want when I click on one of these to load up. Now we probably want the home page to be visible first, so let's go ahead and create a home component. So where we were in source, let's do components. Oh, we probably want like a pages. Let's maybe not like components. Let's take pages and call this like home.rs, and then we'll also want a login.rs. Let's see, so we want a mod from pages. And then I also want a home component here. Twitch will have to make a category software development in cast. Oh man, that'd be like going back to how Twitch was doing a different. Oh, didn't they have like a different category for like a variety of like languages and other things, and they eventually just consolidated it all into software development? It would probably be something else. Like it would be the other way, right? It would be software development in anything but cast, and then software development, right? That's what I would assume it would be. Okay, so we want a pub struct. This is going to be the home component. Implement yew. We don't need any state right now. And we don't need to have a messaging system. That's going to be fine. Okay, so that's going to be good. And then we have our AMLs. We need that too. So okay, so probably let's just copy the thing that we have over there. So we'll have a pages, and we'll touch home.aml, and then what is it called? Okay, we have home.aml, and then we have login.aml. Okay, home.aml. So what is this going to be? We're going to have, I guess for right now, let's just do a text. We are home. That's it. That's the simple component. And then we go to library to load this all up. So not there. Not there. Whoa, stop. Undo. Go away. There we go. Let home template read to string. Read a string. I want, what do I want to put in? What is this? This is template, pages, home.aml. Okay, so we have a home template, and then we want to create this. So let our home page builder register component. Okay, so this will probably be just home. Our template will be the home template. The component will be just home. And we don't have any state. Okay, so now we've registered that, and we need to, let's see. How do we know if we're home or not? I guess like to start off with, like our most basic thing is going to be in our index here. I'll probably want another container. Actually, I want an expand. Expand the element to fill the remaining space. That's probably what I want. I want to expand whatever this is. So if I do a expand, and then we're just going to do a home for right now. And just to make this really simple to see, let's throw a border around it. Okay, so there's a we are home right here. So that's nice. Now expand goes all the way down. Can I expand? Okay, I can do axis, horizontal, or vertical. Wait, what if I want to do both? So if I do horizontal, so axis, okay, so expand, axis, horizontal. That didn't do anything. Hold on. I resaved something else. Yeah, but that didn't do anything there. Okay, expand. Let's try vertical. That didn't do anything either. Okay, cool. Now I do have the ability to see how wide this is, so I can actually just set, let's see. There's some way for me to get that, and I don't know. Ooh. I don't know how to find that until like we're on load time. Okay, but I guess not going to worry about that too much right now. We'll just have like, we have the expand, we can see that. We have a border around it. I can put a width on this, but I don't think I can do a width like on 100%. I have to do like width on an actual like amount. And then we have home loading here. And then this is going to be on what is loading. And that's going to be interesting because we have to do an if statement for what that is. And probably that will be, okay, let's create our other route. So that would be login page. So we're gonna, we already touched login AML. Oh, I've already touched all the things, right? So we can go login AML. So we're just gonna do text, I am the login page. And login that. I will do a pub struct login. Okay, so you're just upset because you're not being used. We can fix that. We'll head back to our library and pull in the template from it. Okay, context, loading, login page template. Okay, we get that. And then I want to redo this one too. So this is what? Login page equals our runtime builder, register component. This will be login. Our template is login template. The state is, or no, the component itself is login. And then we have nothing for state. Okay, so that registers that. Now, obviously, in our index, I could put, I don't want to have to do like a VStack, right? Like I don't want to do an HStack or a VStack to put them next to each other. That doesn't make any sense. I want to maybe like in expand, we have a border. I want to do an if statement of some kind to say like, hey, whichever one that we're on. So we need to know what the state is for this, which makes me think we need a router component because that's the only way I get state, isn't it? Because I don't have state in this one. This is like just the root template. So I need a router component. Interesting. So it's not really a page. It would probably just be in here. So if I just touch router.aml, and then it would be a component, wouldn't it? So, oh, but I could put that in the routes. Okay, so that will probably go into the routes. So in routes here, let's create a new component for you. So pub struct, maybe just routes. We are going to care about state here, aren't we? Route state, maybe. What do we care about here at having this? We're going to have a pub, I guess like the current route, right? It's like we have the current route, and that's going to have to be a value. And in the value is going to have to be either a name or it's going to have to be an instance of the enum. And I'm thinking an instance of the enum would be the most appropriate. So if I just do a route, so we just have that. That's what we start with. Message, we don't have anything right now for that, but the state is going to be the route state. And you're going to be upset until I derive state. Okay. You're upset until value ref exists for value route. Oh, because like it doesn't want an enum. It needs this to be, okay, what are our choices? Okay, so we have state. They have value. There's a list. Oh, then we're on event handling. Okay, so more information about state. Any type can be added as a field to a state as long as it implements Anathema state. The only required function to implement it is function to common. Okay. Okay, so to common, which would be a common value. Types from third-party creates can be wrapped using the new type pattern. Okay, so I'm going to have to do its state for the enum, which then whatever that is. Okay, so we have to impl state for this enum. To common, it's going to take a reference to self and it's going to return an option common value, which a common value, which is an enum. Okay, so it's a boolean, it's a character, it's an int, it's a float, it's a hex, or it's a string. Okay, so I could put this in a string for what you are, which in this case would be, we can match you and then it would be like home or login, essentially. I think that's what we would have to do, right? Is just do the string one. So common value. So we're gonna have to do a sum common val string, and then I want, but we can't do this here. We have to match on self first. If you're home, I want you, well, and you know what? It's going to be the same thing no matter what. So what, let's do, let our name equals this. So it's going to be a string, right? So we can just call this home. And you're going to be login. We get that. And then I can return a sum common value string name. Are you okay with that? Missing generics. Oh. Expected one. Would be this. Okay, so we need current. Oh, and now we can say route. I think you're going to be okay with that. Yes, now it's just never constructed. Perfect. Okay, so now we can use this. We have routes. Did I create an AML for it? I created these templates. I don't think I created a routes template, which we need to have that. Oh, I have a route. Okay, it's called router.aml. That's what it is. There it is. Router.aml, which currently has nothing in it. So we'll just start with text and say, I am the router. I am the router. Okay, so got to load this up. I know how to type. Okay, then back down here, we're going to do let. This is going to be our router. Register the component. Okay, so we'll just call this router the template. So it's the router template. We have the routes, I think. That's what we called it. And then the state is the route state. Current is going to be a value. Come on. You need to know where you are. Import, yeah, there we go. Import value new. And then you're going to have a route. So we're going to have a route. Home is what we're going to start with. There. Okay, so now we have a router. Okay. It's the routers we're going to have our if statement. And it's going to load up all the different page components, as it were. Okay, so we want to expand. Basically, instead of border home like this, we're going to expand border router. So here we go. I am the router. Perfect. Now I need the router to, by default, load up the home route. That's what we want to load up here. Okay, to load up the home route, how do we want to load up the home route? I would in routes. Okay, so we know what we're looking for. And we need to get the current route, don't we? The templates are all global, so that's actually quite easy to like just say like, hey, if we're in this route, we do this thing. So in the router, we're gonna have to do an if routes, what do we call it? If current. So if current, and then I probably want to do something like if current.name, right? Because that gives me the route. So I need to say, okay, so if current.name, so impl route, let's just get the current name. So pub function name, we'll get self this could be just a static string. I wonder if this is gonna be fine or if I have to return a value. I wonder how that's gonna work. We're gonna find out. So if we start with a static string and we return, let's see, name, static string, we do match on self. You're gonna be home. And you're going to be login. Okay. Back to you. Okay, so if current dot name, and let's just say if I match this to home, so I have to like understand what this is right now, but dynamically, like, you know, making this dynamically do things maybe a later thing. I'm not sure. Okay, so if current name's that, now can I just say text? Actually, we could just do here, right? So home. Now I could do an else, right? So I can do an else. We're in login for right now. That's not happy. It did not like that. Okay. I wonder if it's because like we're making this making that. But what about now we had too common. Too common might help for us, although that's an option. I have no idea if options are handled properly now. I know that Togglebit was working on it, but I don't know if he finished working on it. So if I do to common equals home, what happens to you? Oh, we have errors. Finished running. Okay, so it really doesn't like this at all. Now, okay, so if we go back to text hi. Okay, it is definitely just a problem here it's just a problem here in the router. So if I want to do an if statement, what are my choices? If else. It's possible to use if and else to determine what to lay out. Okay, so if true, you can do that. If value is greater than 10. Okay, but it has to be. I don't know if I can do. Oh, you know what we can do? Okay, I know what we can do. Let's try. Okay, so if I text current like that, current is home. Okay. Oh, so what if I just do if current is equal to home, then no, then it's load the home component, else load the login component. We are home. Oh, okay. So it's a lot simpler than I was thinking. Okay, so now we're currently at the home, and so I would eventually want to make it where if I clicked on login, it would change. We would need to send a message to the nav component, to the router component. That's what we need. We need to send a message to the router component that we are now home. So how would we do that? We can get a on click for the components. And I wonder if we're going to want to create a component for each specific thing. Otherwise, we won't know which one we clicked on. Like, I wonder if I'm going to need like a nav item component. So I can just detect if we clicked on that, and then that we can have a state to it knows what it is, which it could then also be an instance of a route. Because that could work. Actually, that might work out really well. So we need new component templates. Okay, so in templates, this would be in just straight components. We're going to do a touch nav item. Let's see, back twice, go to source components, and we want to touch What is this going to be? This is going to be also a nav item. Okay, so in nav item AML, I want probably this is just going to be a text of the name, probably just like name, right? Yeah, probably just name. So we'll have to have a name state. And then you pub struct Okay, so this is going to be a pub name, and the name is going to be an instance of route, right? So we know that this is going to be a value of just route. And that should already work and be fine. Nav item state. And then message. It's going to be nothing for right now, but we're going to be changing that pretty soon. Okay, let's go back to our lib and bring these in again. Okay, so we have nav item template. Read to string. So this is going to be templates, components, nav item. Okay, and then we load in a component. The nav item template, nav item component, and then nav item state. Name is going to be a value, new route. Home is what we're going to start with. Okay, so we've got that. Now we can use nav items instead.
Changing Helix theme to yew.rs star.
Recase. Hello, how are you doing today? Everfor is dark. That doesn't look. Yeah, that's interesting. Although this is not the best component for that because there's no actual like highlighting for this file. So we'll see how that looks back there. But I do see green here. That's nice. But how are you doing today? Are you doing pretty well? Excellent. I'm doing pretty well. We're experimenting around with Anathema and how to do routing if we want like multiple pages and other fun things like that, which is interesting. I've never actually built a router for a like a front end besides just using some really basic things like in JavaScript using like jQuery many years ago. I haven't certainly done it ever since I started using like React and Angular and Vue, and actually using like routers built by people who know what they're doing. Okay, so in our nav we have our text that, we have our text name, and so what I really want is a nav item Oh, but I need to be able to tell it what it is, don't I? This is the new slots thing. We set that up. And did you write documentation for this? Because I don't think it's in here necessarily. Those are default templates. Yeah, no search for results for that. Okay, I need to dive into Discord for this. Because he did talk about it. Let's see, where was that? That was a while ago. Okay, so it's using $sign on the outside to use it. Okay, is that okay? So wait, index name text equals okay. So I think the way this works is in nav item AML, we're gonna have name, and then in name we'd have like text. Okay, so this is the default. So the default would be text. I am a nav item. Okay, so if we do that, you're not loading yet. And then okay, so we have a nav item like this. Oh, you're very not happy right now. We have nav item. Uh-oh. Oh, I locked my interface. I keep on doing that by accident. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so I crashed Anathema. Okay, so it's not happy with that. Nav item name, and then this would be text name. Ooh, I don't think that worked either. Let's see. Suyash, hello. How are you doing today? I'm doing pretty good. We're trying to figure out like a routing system with Anathema so I could replicate what we have with yew that we created the other day. But that isn't working. Okay, so you have like index name text hello there, and inside the index component. Okay, so maybe I can't have a default. So I just do that. No, wait. Ooh, wait, this might. We are home. Can I do something like this? Blah, blah. Home, blah, blah. I put it, let's see. Okay. So I have one of them. So we're successfully using slots. So for name, text name, but why am I only getting one of them? Because in the nav, let's see. So then, what do we have? Name and routes. I want to create a nav item multiple times, and then for each one, I do name and then text name. Sometimes you just feel skill issues in yourself whenever I listen to what 10x devs like I am doing. I don't know if I would consider myself a 10x dev. I don't actually know if I'd consider anybody a 10x dev. But I totally get what you mean. Of like, yeah, like you watching somebody else is like, oh man, I could never do that, or like that feels so much. For me, a lot of it is just like getting into uncomfortability and like learning new things constantly, and that makes learning new things faster. Ironically, if you're just like constantly doing it, maybe not ironic, maybe that's just completely normal. Yeah, well, like this should be different nav items, right? So like this is I'm looping through routes, and so I have two names in here. I have home and login, and then okay, so I have home and login coming in on routes like this, and I am nav item. I'm creating a nav item for each one of these. There should be two of those, but it's really only doing one of them, which is a little bit concerning because if I change this back, let's change this back to just text name. If we do that, we get home login like that, which is great. Okay. But if I do, okay, what if I do, all right, so that's, if I do one of the default widgets, it works the way we expect it to. But if I use nav item, and then we're going to use the slot name, and we're going to set this to be text name, like that. It doesn't show up here. The next one doesn't show up. I don't get it. What would I call a developer who works on a language called 10x, huh? Yeah, okay, never mind. I've changed my mind. There is such a thing as a 10x developer, but of course, if you want to be a 10x developer, you have to work on the 10x language. Now, somebody should also like create 100x language, and then you could be a 100x developer. Actually, not decided since I haven't seen the 10x one. I'll decide when I see it. Okay. Okay, fine. I guess it depends if the person is actually developing with it. All right, so that seems to be a bug. This feels like it's a bug. It's like in a loop, trying to get the second one in there, and it's not showing, but the first one does, which is too bad. Okay. And that's so weird why it would not let me do that. Okay, here's another question. Can I use this nav item again just down here? Can I just say nav item name? Hi there. No, I can't. I can't use nav item multiple times. Try getting two names in the same for loop. Yeah, we can do that. So if I were to just remove you and change you to be like text name, that works. So we get home and login and hi there shows up. But when I try to use the same nav item twice, like this, hi there only shows up once. That's the problem. I can't use the same component twice. Oh, that's weird. Okay. It's good to know. Seems like a bug. And I think we're kind of stuck with that because, well, I guess like we're not fully stuck. Oh, you're talking about nav item name text.name name text.name. I think that works, right? Because like he said that we can do that. So if I do nav item name name. Okay, so nav item name. You want text.name? Wouldn't it be just name? Oh, it wouldn't be text.name. It would be text space name, right? And this won't work. Oh, it did home home. So it does that. It does that. Yeah. So we got home home. Yes, that works. I can do that just fine. Can I reset this? Can I name? That's just one. Okay, that works fine too. That's the same thing. So it doesn't care how many of these I use. Huh. So but the reason why I want to do this is I want to be able to see when we click on things. Yeah, so I want to see when we click on things. Now, I can't really do, I guess we can say like, okay, if our current route, we don't have a current route, right? We have just the list of routes. So we need a current route too. And then I can like change its color to be what we're currently on. So this would be in our nav.rs. So we have routes, and we have our current route is going to be a value of a route. Current, okay, so we need the current route when we're creating a new one. We'll just call it a route. Okay, so now we have a current route like that. That's fine. This function now takes one argument, so we're going to have route home is what we're starting with. Okay, basically the dollar sign is calling the value of name, and then whatever you write, text name, it'll show the value. Okay, got it. Yeah, it's very similar to slots. So if you've ever seen slots in Vue, it's exactly the same as that. Okay, so we have Vue in here, so we now know what our current one is. So I want to say in nav.aml, when we're doing this, when we're doing text.name, if current is equal to name, then I want to do text.name, but I need to change the foreground to be blue. Can I do that? Yeah. Can you see that? It's a very light blue color. I can make this red. I like that blue. We can make it a little bit stronger. Like that. Yeah, similar to JS things. Exactly. Except it's in Rust, which is more impressive. Okay, so we've created, we now know that our home component is like this. That's great. We can use hex codes. I think that I actually can just use an actual hex code. Do you have any suggestions for what to use for like when we're on the page? Oh, FF? Sure. What is that? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's white. If I change a couple of these around to, I don't know, 45. Wait, 12? 1, 2. I need a hex code that's actually a real number, like a real value. I don't. You know what? A random hex code for a random color would be nice. 3 through 3. You know, I wonder if he. Okay, we can try 3 through 3. That still looks just white. That doesn't look fine. I don't think that took. There is maybe it's maybe I do hex differently. So I know in templates I can set colors. Where is it? Oh, okay, foreground. Foreground. Yeah, I can do hex like that. Oh, no quotes. There's no quotes. There we go. No quotes. That was a little bit dark to see. So yeah, FFAAA46 is an orangish color. Too many A's? Too many A's. There we go. It works. Okay. So no quotes. That's what we learned. No quotes when we're using hex. Which I guess makes sense. It is still unfortunate that we're not able to see the other name, the other nav item show up. Although, you know what? Wait a second. I did an H stack in here Do I have to do like another H stack or something? I can't imagine that would do anything. So maybe not there. What if there's something weird with nav items like this, where I have to do this to be a H stack? That doesn't do anything. What if I just create a border? What? How how did I get that to show up like that? That's weird. Because if I try to do like I can't do any text in here like that. I just am doing okay. So oh, have I made a Git repo for this? Yes, I have. But I haven't pushed this one up yet. So, but let's do that now. Lots of things. Okay, so we have you, all the components, everything looks good there. All the templates. Okay, so we're adding Anathema, pushing that up. And that is going to EyeAP. Okay, take a look at there. And I believe I have, if you're on YouTube, I believe I have the link to the repo in the description for the video. That's interesting, and it makes me wonder if there's a weird container problem where it's like a sizing issue. And like it is displaying, but it's like displaying not where we expect it to be. Almost like so H stack that is going left and right. In index, my nav is, let's make you 5 so I can see everything. Oh, because the border adds 1 to it. Okay, so it's not really anything special like that. So it didn't really fix anything else. Yeah, that would have been really nice. Okay, so this is showing what our current is home and all that stuff. Now, what if we initially, okay, so we can't see the other one, right? If I can't see the other one, I probably want to start us out looking at, okay, maybe okay, where do I have routes? Okay, so in our router, what if our current route is actually login? So we set you to be login there, and then we also set nav, our current route is login. So if we do that, nothing shows up. So I'm the login page here for the router, which makes sense. You don't, oh, right, you don't show up at all. Because Okay, if you're that, else just text name. So it's just white. So now we still get the login there, which is great. If all the routes appear when nav item isn't used, maybe the issue is with how nav item is displayed. Possibly, although nav item, if I try to do nav item multiple times, even without the for loop, it displays one of them and that's it. So it feels to me like a bug. And as far as I can tell, I'm the first one who's actually trying to use this in a real way. Because like this was added in late last week. And Togglebit said it took him 2 hours to do. So maybe he needs a little time. Yeah, early adapter issues. Exactly. That's what it is. Okay, so that gives me that. That's great. And if I want to do early adapt. Yeah, no, I like the adapter one more, right? It's early. We're adapting it. Okay, so we get the one thing. That's great and all. I want to then guess I don't need you there. We just do this like this, right? You sort of like that. Okay. Right. There you go. Okay. So we have login like that. It looks a little bit weird with that border around it. So let's get rid of you. Nav item. Let's get rid of the border. Bring you back. Okay. Everything looks good like this. Now we only have login like that. Oh, interesting. Okay. So hold on. Why do I? Oh, wait a second. I only have login is showing. In nav.rn, we have in routes, it's supposed to be a list of strings. It's supposed to be a list of strings. Now, when I create the routes from iter, I want route all the names, and then I'm mapping to string to string. Now, can I debug? I guess like maybe I'll do a print line. Can I do that? Maybe. Oh, but I don't see it. And if I quit, do I see it? Okay, so I think this is actually one of those problems where I think I need to load it up down here. So we're going to do a pane down. It's slightly behind me, but everything should be up at the top, so that should be fine. So if we go into, I don't want to go into Stream Manager. This is EyeAP, CLI, cargo run. I did not see a print line for this. But it's very interesting. So I'm attempting to get a list of routes. And in nav, I'm looping through the routes. Oh, but we know that it's working because if I don't use nav items, like if I do another, here, let's do another for loop here. For name and routes. And we'll just do text, name. If I do that, Oh, I need to make this. I need to make the router take more space. Here, just take up 50 space. Oh, also, I forgot. I'm not watching this. That would do it. $50 is too much? Yeah, 50 was too much. Okay, so now we have login, home login. Why is this one showing login now? That's really interesting because we're looping through routes. Routes is an array, so we know that the order is always the same, right? And the order is always home and then login. But when our default is the login page, we don't get it. It doesn't display. That's even weirder. Here, let's just implement this in here. Yeah, so we can say home is what it thinks we're currently on home, which is also not true. That's okay. Now I'm confused. Okay, so in nav, the route comes in. Yeah, you guess you need a coffee to go ahead too? Yeah. Okay, so when we create the nav with the nav state, which we can see halves here. So we have, oh, that's nav item. Oh, no. Okay, so you know what? Nav item state doesn't need anything. I guess we kind of need something, but interesting. I wonder if I would need to create a component, like a unique component for each of these. Oh, no. Okay, so like, because I just call this nav item. And nav item is, okay, your state is login. Now the router, I'm now saying that your current value is that. And then nav component, oh, you're still on home. So let's do login like that. Okay. There we go. Okay, so if we're on login, you know what I wonder is because I named this thing as the name. And I wonder if that is causing problems because I can't have both of them together. So if we take a look at nav item and I change this from name to like name, let's say slot, name slot, which breaks that. Okay. So in nav, let's get rid of yew. So we only have this one that we're looking at, which is nothing for right now. We want name slot. Okay, it's still only one. And oh, I think I know what's going on. Now we have home showing up, but not the other one. Okay, so at least the correct one's showing up now, but it's still only one of them. Okay, so multiple problems. The inside the slot, I have access to the state of the component, which is actually really cool. That's actually a really cool thing. I have access to the state of the nav item component that I'm in. Now it's set to be all just like name set to login, which is fine. But that wasn't really what I was hoping to get. Now, what I would like to do next is when I click on this to switch to the home page, which you can sort of see that over here. We can make this one line again. Then you'll see the login page a little bit. Yeah, a little bit clearer. All right, so if I click on you, which means that we want to go into the nav item, the foreground color did get removed because we're not currently navigated to home. We're currently navigated to login, but that second nav item isn't displaying, so we can't see that orange. I want to turn this orange, essentially. That's what I want to do. I want to turn this orange. So what are our choices here? Oh, okay. So the autocomplete, this doesn't let me mouse scroll on it. It's only the help things. Well, that's too bad. Okay, so I can just do arrow keys down through it. So on blur, on focus, on key, on mouse. Okay, so I probably want to do on mouse. So on mouse, we have the mouse event. We have state. Okay, so mouse event is this struct mouse event. So if I do mouse dot okay, that gives me, I can get a position. The viewport is the entire viewport, I think, of the entire window. Elements are what I clicked on, maybe? I have an X and a Y of where... Yeah, let's just translate that into a position. And then we have, okay, so I probably want to do this. Okay, so if I've just released, I probably want to just do this on mouse up. So it's when I release it. So if mouse button up, when I release it, I want to navigate. We're going to want to send a message. Which we're going to have to do through state type stuff, but we'll get to that in a bit. we can set stuff on state here. I don't know where I want to to put that. I guess let's for debugging purposes, let's just add in here of like a pub clicked is a value boolean. You're going to be upset until I have a clicked value default, so it's going to be false. And then in nav item, I do have access. Okay, so in nav AML, we do have actually have access to this. So I can do, let's see, n. Then I open you up, close you, clicked. I guess we do that. Okay, so open you up, close you, clicked, close like that. Okay. All right, so home, so clicked is false. So then nav item, if you're going up, okay, so first off, let's just see if we can just set that. We'll just do state dot clicked set to be true. Okay, so if I just set you to be true now when I click anywhere, it becomes true, right? And I wonder if I can. Oh, that just takes over. That kills my terminal. Oh, that's not fun. So that was when I clicked like over here and I got a true. So I need to click it when it's actually on the thing. So if we've clicked and then also if the elements are on it, so what I can do, what can I do with that? Elements. It's an elements struct. It's a query. No, it is a struct. Okay, so it is a struct elements. As a nodes, widgets, and attributes. Okay, so the only thing I can really do on this is query widget self. Oh, okay, so I can run a query, and that's all. But now what? Oh, okay, so I query by tag, by attribute, finds element at a given position. Okay. So at position, and then we can do mouse dot position. So that gives me query result. each first. Okay, so I only have one on top of here, so it should be, if I just give myself your function mute. Okay, so I take, I probably have to move. Actually, don't know if I have to move. So we have a closure like this. Don't take in anything, right? Yeah, I don't think you take in anything. No, wait, I do. I have element and attributes. I have element, attributes. There it goes. Okay. So I have those two things. So I have the element, I have the attributes. For the element, I mean, is there anything I can do here? So get the identifier. So I can get the identifier. These are all gets, so I can get these things, but I can't really do much with it. Huh, paint. Get the layout for it. Okay, so I can't get the name for it. That doesn't really make any sense. If I can get the state of it, that would actually be really interesting, but I don't know if I can. What are attributes? Set pending, remove. I mean, there's not much here either. I think, okay, so if I want to get the element, so element dot get a mutable reference to the underlying widget of the given type. So I have to tell it what type to give it. So in this case, I know it's a I know that this is a what is it called, a nav item. Oh, so this is going to crash if it's not correct. Nav item. Do I get access to like its state or something? I don't look like I do. Any message. That's like on the method. Okay. Oh, these are method. These are actually like the methods on there. That's not what I want to do at all. Okay, so can I get state? I cannot get state. Yeah. Okay. All right, so I don't think it's attributes. Oh, sorry, I don't think it's element. If I get a copy of a value, but I don't know what value I want. I guess let's try it. Okay, so copy of the value, and then the value was name slot, I think. For some reason, print line from in here doesn't work, but from other projects it does. There might be something I can do in the main library to not worry. Okay, so one of those things, I think. I think now I can do a print line. So if I print line A like that, oh, but you're unknown. Type annotations needed. Okay, so what if you're a option, which I think that was a string. I mean, it might also be of like a value like that. Could not compile. Try from common value. Okay, so I don't think it's val. Yeah, I didn't like that either. Okay. Get a copy of a value. Okay, so there was value. Get the value out of attributes. Get. Oh, wait. I can maybe, okay, instead of get, maybe I can just do value. So let a equals just a value. Okay, so if I click on you became true. I'm not really sure what I'm looking at here. I am no longer sure I need the nav item anymore. I think if I do nav, I might be able to get like a text item. Wait, look at this. Expression sum list index 0. Small index 0. Okay, so value inner. That could be interesting. Oh, and they gave me the full thing. Like we have an ident clicked with that. Okay, so we're getting all of that stuff. That's interesting. Which this makes me wonder though. What if I just don't use nav item? Like what if I go back to okay, so if if current is equal to n, text n, let's not do that. Text n clicked, otherwise else text n. Okay, text n. And then I can, oh, okay, here we go. I can add in text like that for between. Perfect. So we're currently on login. I want to switch away from nav item to do this. I now want to do this on just nav. Okay, so on mouse, we have you. If mouse dot lsp up, I want to query for, okay, so that our query is going to be equal to element query at position, mouse dot position. Just get me the first one. Right, that's not how to do it. Okay, so query dot, nope, stop. Query dot first. We're gonna get element attributes. Element attributes, I want to attributes, give me the value. And we're going to print line the value. Okay, so now if I just click anywhere, nothing happens. But if I click on home, none. Huh. Okay, value is none for each of those. Is first not right then? Do I want this to be each? Okay, so I click on you, key value, subscriber, expression sum ident, n. That was the first one we clicked on it. Is it different when I click on the second one? Subkey 1. Okay, so this was different. So owned key 1, subkey 1, small index is still 0 though, right? Yes, this one's still 0, but owned key and subkey are both 0 based upon which one I clicked on. So inner dyna value ref, value key, value key. Okay, so I want to go to inner value key, either owned key or subkey. Okay, what can I do with this? Inspect call function within reference to the contained value if some. Filter returns none if the option is none, otherwise calls predicate. Wait a second. Is this just, oh, this is just off options. These are just off options. Okay, so let sum value equals to that. Otherwise, we will just continue. So now we have access to value. It's no longer a sum, so it's just value. If I do value dot stir for each, a stir iter, I feel like it doesn't know what it is. Okay, so if I do that, crash. Else, I just want to continue the each. Oh, yeah, okay, so never mind. We else will just return nothing. Forgot that I wasn't in a normal loop. Okay, so home value. So it's this value thing. So I can get a stir for each, and then what are you? You're just a stir. So if I print line A, let's print line that A instead. Home. Login. So I get all the characters separately. I get all the characters separately. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So what does that mean? It means that we can determine where we are, but I need to concatenate them together here. This isn't a closure like this, which is a little bit. Oh, but I can, okay, hold on. I do a for each. So if I do, if we create our value, so this is like the route. Okay, so if we do route name, this would be our value dot, instead of stir for each, I want to get the stir iterator. Back from the break. Welcome back. Further progress. We have figured out that I don't have to use the nav item. So I went back to just text. That's why we're getting this here. I can click on each of these and then log out the names of them, grabbing the either, like I can get some kind of iterator from this. Now you take in a function, which is, but you take F, mute. So if I take in my string, so it's my character. It's each character, I think. It's an iterator over each character, I think, that's in the string here. So I probably don't want to do router flow like that. I probably want to do something like let name equals string new. We'll make you mutable. Can I then take the route name and push in the C? Expected, okay, so mismatch types, expected enum control flow. Oh, wait, I need to return a control flow? Oh, I need to return a control flow for... Huh. Yeah, so if I don't return anything, I need to return... Oh, control flow continue or break. Okay, that's not bad. So we just continue like that. Expected a char, found a string. Wait, is there like an append? I guess, isn't there? Oh, you know what I can do? Here, let's print line space C space just to see what we really have working with us. Error. Wait, what? Oh, you taken an argument? C. Continue. Wait, what? I don't know what you're trying to continue. I need a generic. Move on to the next phase of the operation as normal. And there's break that takes a beat. Okay. That's not helpful. Okay, now I want to try this again. So we want to do our value. Now if I do string for each, you are a am I allowed to do this as a function mute? I wonder. So if I do let's do that to make sure it keeps the brackets. So we're going to print line. Oh, we need the character. We think it's a character. Okay, so if we do that, now if I press home, it's the full home. Oh, I don't need a route name. Okay, so this is the route name. So we can just call this route name like that, get rid of you. We have the full route name. So next up, I would need to send a message to the main router and to myself of what the new route name is. So in routes, if I were to have like maybe a pub function, like change self, like a change self, or like a new, like maybe we have a change. I'm gonna be resetting to something else. That's gonna be fine. Okay, so let's take in. You know what? It can be off the thing. Oh, so this would be like new from name. You're gonna take in a stir like that and return a. I think it's gonna have to be an option, or we're gonna have. You know what? If you don't know what it is, you get home. That's what you get. Okay, so we're gonna do a self. So we're gonna have to match on what did I decide to do here? We have name is that. So match on the name. So if we are home, we are going to return a self home. If we are login, doing self login. If we're anything else, we are going to be self home. Okay, so then we get the route name. So we do let the new route is going to be equals route new from name, route name, and that gives us the route. And then I want to set our current state to be what that is. So we're going to do I don't know. I'm in a closure here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. I'm going to have to send a message to myself. State dot current set to be the new route. I think it's going to work. So now if I click on home, look at that. I can tell the nav which is the new one we have here. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, the navigation does seem to be coming along pretty well. It's a little bit manual still. I haven't figured out how to do sort of like more dynamic routing, but it's working. So like it's going to be very specific to each like program that you're working on. But you could also like set up a boilerplate for it. It wouldn't be too bad. All right, so we're after 1 o'clock, but I kind of want to get this changing too. So let's keep on going. All right, so if I want to change you are the router itself, which means that I need to take in a router. Okay, so in nav state, you need to be aware of the router. So what is this? This is gonna be pub router. I guess I don't need to set. You don't need to be public. Fine. Okay. Oh, you don't need to be public because I have a new here. That's okay. That makes sense. All right. This is going to be the emitter. I've seen a dynamic router function that creates a hash map from the enum. Okay. So probably like in the future, we could do something like that to create some automatic things, which would be nice. But like at least like, hey, getting it manually working first would be pretty great. Okay, so routes, current. Okay, so I need the emitter for the routes emitter. is going to have to be a value emitter like that. Uh-oh. It doesn't like having the emitter. How do I pass in the emitter? I don't know how to pass in the emitter. I need to know all of the fields that I could do. I guess I need to do an any. Oh, I need to do a new type pattern for this emitter. That's what I would need to do. So like I would need to say pub struct emitter wrapper. You would have the emitter would be the emitter. Impl state for emitter wrapper. To common, it's going to be a common val. Bool char int float hex string. Uh-oh. I guess, okay, so let's just do string not to be seen. Or this this emitter should never be displayed. Oh, it need to be a sum. Okay, so then we have the emitter like that. So you're going to be a value emitter wrapper. We want the routes emitter, which is going to be an emitter. And then we're going to overwrite this. We're going to shadow this, and we're going to do emitter wrapper. Like that. Routes emitter. Okay, so now we can take this in mismatch types. Oh, because of your value new. I keep on forgetting to do the value new. Okay, so now we have you. And then you need, okay, so it takes 2 arguments. So in the nav component, we have you, which means in the router component, you actually need to be first here. So we get you, we get the router, and oh wait, is it? Shoot, I need to have the component ID. So I need the router and then also an emitter. Which I think I can get off of runtime builder. Yeah, okay. So runtime builder gives me an emitter. So then all right, so you're just going to be upset because I'm also now pulling in the router component ID. So this is going to be the routes ID. There's a component ID for routes. Okay. So we have that, and we need to store that. So we have the routes emitter. We probably should just store the I wonder if it will let me store the value in here like this. So if I have the routes ID is a value component ID routes. Nope. Okay. So let's just throw you in the emitter wrapper. So we have the emitter like that, and then we're going to have the component ID is going to be a component ID routes. You're still good there. That's all good. Okay. And then we have component ID is the routes ID. Okay. Mismatch types, expected strokes. Expected struct, component ID routes, found struct, component ID nothing. What? Oh. Wait, when I register the component, it doesn't give me the right thing? Component ID. Oh, whatever the message is. Okay. Oh, okay. The message. All right. So we need to go to the routes. State for route. There it is. This message. So we need a new struct. No, we don't need a new struct. The message that can come in is the route. That's all it is. That's all it is. Okay. So much easier. So then in our nav, we have our component ID. This is just route that comes in like that. It's route that comes in like that. All right, so no errors yet, which I'm kind of surprised about, but okay. Let's see. So you do all these things, emitter wrapper. That's all great. State for that. So I have the emitter wrapper in the state for routes emitter. Mouse be up. Okay. I need to query each. We get you. Value string for each. String for main. Okay, so I set the current thing, and then I need to do state dot routes emitter. Do I need you to be public? I need you to be public. Right? Routes emitter, and then in routes emitter, need both those to be public. Oh, come on. Routes emitter. What are you? Oh, you're this value. Uh-oh. I lost it. Okay. Because I can get all of those like individual things, but I don't know how to get the emitter back anymore. Oh no, that's not going to work. So how do I get the emitter? Okay. I think I got to the point where I'm stuck because I don't know how to get the emitter out of the value. Whatever. That didn't sound good. I don't know how to get this out of the value. So I'm probably storing the emitter incorrectly. I'm betting that ToggleBit has a different idea about how we would store the emitter or pass it around to each other so I can use that. And then do things with it. So because of that, I think I'm gonna go have to, well, like, let's see. For one other thing I want to, let's see, first off, things are broken, right? Yeah, so let's reset you. This at least is working where I can do that. That's pretty cool. I can't send a message to you yet. That's a thing. Diablo, hello. How are you doing today? Let's see. I want to go back to the nav and then show this off. So if I have that, let's do then another one. So for n in routes. And then we'll do nav item. What was it? Name slot? Name slot. And then we'll do text. So if we do that, yeah, then we just see we get home and not the other login there like that, which is what we're supposed to have. Okay, so I wanted to keep this in here. I don't think, can I do comments? Oh, actually, I think I might be able to do comments. All right, so let's pull in. This should show home and login, but only shows login. Only shows. Wait, now I'm confused. What the heck is going on? Home login like that, and then I bring you in. Okay, there we go. Home login home, but only shows home. Okay, there we go. I'm happy with this. We're good. Let's go ahead and get this all set up. All right, so nav is detecting when when we're clicking on it and changes current color. Also showing problem with using component with multiple slots in a for loop. Okay, so that's being pushed up and that's available now. And I think I'll be able to share this off with ToggleBit, show what the problem is. He should be able to recreate this because I think all he needs to do is just go into the CLI and run that. I don't think he needs to run anything else, so everything should be fine. And I think we're good to go here. So anyways, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you stayed with the raid, thank you for staying on. And let's see, is there anybody that I'm following right now on Twitch? It was a great time. Well, thank you for that. I aim to be at least mildly amusing. Why is everything so collapsed in? As far as I can tell, I'm not following anybody who is live and doing like sort of this type of programming. So I think we'll just go ahead and end it for right now. I will be back next week to continue on working on this project. We will sort of like continue on with this sort of like idea of the Anathema side for one of the days, and then the yew for the other days. And so with that, I hope that you have a great rest of your day, rest of your week, and I will see you next time, whenever that is. All right. Bye.